We're on the west coast of Tassie, still pushing through mud on the Balfour Track. With really our only option a 45-degree winch pull and several max tracks, we're trying to pop the patrol up on top of the swamp. As for what we'll do next, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The patrol is now basically level with the back of Hamish's truck, so using that as an anchor point, useless. With the front end digging such a huge hole, Nick now can't go forwards or backwards without dropping back into it.
You got a winch extension, Ham? Winch extensions to a tree?
With 60 metres of winch extensions and half a drum of winch line, we find an anchor point thanks to the only tree within reach. Max tracks under each wheel and the Navara begins to lift up out of the mud. But as Hamish stops with the winch, it unspools on its own accord. Something's clearly not right. Not what you want to see with a brand new winch. Hamish isn't too impressed and it tops off a frustrating couple of hours. It is still pulling him out, but he doesn't want to damage the winch or the battery by not giving it a break. And if he does let off, he'll lose tension and he's back into the swamp. Finally, the Navara is able to crawl out of the mud, and it only takes a quick snatch to get the patrol through the worst of the two. Now just a Jeep and a Hilux to come and we're out. With a great drive by Mark, all he's going to need now is a little help from Max and he'll be through. Matt's seen what needs to be done and grabs third before even diving in, but unfortunately gets thrown into a terrible line, so he'll be getting a pull from there. You can just see how sloppy it is as the tyres on the Hilux are overwhelmed with mud and giving zero traction. As lead Max Track's operator, Angus has had a successful day by not losing a single one, in some very difficult conditions too. Just around the corner, we find some flowing water and attempt to clean ourselves off. It's another deep water hole, but a firm base gives plenty of traction to crawl right through. It's non-stop water holes. Not the type of terrain you want to go first in. You see, everything's a little bit easier once you see someone else drive out the other side. Until Nick gets to this particularly ominous looking section.
Gonna need to hurry up here.
As he engages the locker, the patrol pulls up and out, leaving Mark a little bit worried due to not having the added help of diff locks. So he gets his strap ready to make a recovery as quick as it can be.
I don't think there's any better option.
However, with the right amount of momentum, the Jeep finds enough traction in a very nasty hole and pulls out the other side without ever looking back. Hamish, not wanting to stick around, goes all out. again washes that interior with that clean Tassie water. With just Matt to come, he's quietly confident. With those twins on board, if it starts to struggle, he just hits the switch and all four wheels will be spinning at the same pace.
What an explosion! Well, someone just dropped the outside into a pretty deep water crossing, and clearly a lot of shit on the bottom. Sticks. That fucker.
After constant water holes and what feels like endless channels of water, we begin to worry if we'll get to camp before nightfall, as we still need to head back, pick the trailers up, and then find somewhere to call home for the night. I wouldn't be surprised if we're setting up camp in the dark again. The Balfour Track has been everything we expected: mud and water. This is about the only steep rocky section on the entire track, but it's all fairly tame, and we all cruise right over it. It then opens back up to a long, narrow stretch of water. With no idea how deep it is, we just slowly crawl along, one after the other. The ground is firm and rocky, so we feel pretty confident that no one's getting stuck along here. I think we're all more worried about how much water could be entering the vehicles as it gets deeper in some sections. And as the sun gets lower, we come out onto a road which will hopefully lead us back to get the trailers. So we air up, head back toward the coast.
We are mobile. I repeat, we are mobile.
Matt, we're mobile!
Matt's Hilux had some minor brake issues throughout the track, and on the way back, more problems. Handling through the corners just isn't feeling right. So we pull over to check it out. We find a CD boot has been pinched and isn't sitting correctly, but nothing appears major, so we continue on. Well, we do just get to camp before dark, and tonight, Angus and Jordan are treating us to steak sangers as a bit of a farewell gift.
Today, Balfour Track, we got filthy. It's good fun. Everyone got bogged, everyone got water in their cars. It's what we come to do. A few little car issues at the moment. Still the patrol starting to lean towards CV issue. Matt had
some brake issues.
electrical brake issue maybe. Just so much shit in the mud and crap everywhere, so it's just, we're in the one spot for 2 hours.
Yep.
2 hours bogged, trying to get through. And then basically just rocked up to camp now. We've picked the trailers back up and backtracked a little bit and found a campsite at 7 o'clock, so that's actually it's 8:20. So yeah, big day. Everyone's pretty glad to be sucking a tin and sitting near a fire. Well, this morning Hamish has taken Jordan and Angus to the airport in Hobart, so he had a 6-hour drive. He left at about 8 o'clock this morning. He's going to drop them two lads off and then pick up his misso and then catch up with us again. Marco's towing the MDC camper on the back of the Jeep, so he didn't have to drag that into town. There's a wombat. So yeah, Mark's definitely feeling the load on the back of that. He's not sitting too far off the bump stops, but the idea is we're going to go stock up and give the cars a little bit of a clean. We've got a few little issues that we wouldn't mind just having a bit of a closer look at, and the underbelly of the cars are just filthy. So we're going to do that and back to Smithton and stock up again with a bit more food, and then we're going to head back down towards Queenstown and set up a camp there. Then Hamish and Sarah, they'll come back and meet us there.
We have arrived back into town to mainly shop and get fuel, but there's also a car wash.
This is why we clean things, so we can see what the hell's going on here. Sway bar end link, it's been fucked out. Bolts or nuts come off.
After stopping to clean the vehicles and stock up on supplies, we hit the road again and head towards the small town of Waratah. On the way, we stop off to check out a possible camp location. Unfortunately, it's not suitable. However, we go for a short walk in the rain and check out the forest.
So we're just camping here at Waratah. Just had a look under the vehicle when we rocked up, and just got a little bit of a death breather issue. It's melted itself. I'm not sure how it got there, but it's melted itself. You can see that on the exhaust. Luckily, good old-fashioned Matt over there. He brought some spare line, which was bloody handy, so we'll just replace him and make sure we tie him up out the way. I thought it already was, but clearly not.
As Nick tidies up a few loose ends in the patrol, Mark and Kristen take the opportunity to explore the town. We are hiking the Powerline track in Waratah. It is wet and dark down amongst these trees. Here we go. Wow. I was expecting a bit more of a log bridge.
Yeah.
On track 4, we go searching for an old mining town, but find nothing but mud and pinstriping. Add in endless ruts and a track falling away beneath us, and you've got a hell of an afternoon.